Hi, I'm Stephanie Urbano, and I'm an undergraduate majoring in global studies with a focus on international policy. I recently went on the Israel 2022 study abroad program, and I had such a phenomenal time, and I learned so much. I'm super excited to be able to share some of these experiences with you. How has your study abroad experience prepared you for the challenges of the contemporary workplace? Throughout our Israel trip, we got to experience and observe many different leadership philosophies. Each leader provided a different perspective, allowing us to take away lessons from each of them. Personally, I learned a great deal from my trip, even though I'd worked in a contemporary office before. I learned the importance of welcoming and actively recruiting diversity of thought. In Israel, there is so much diversity, not just demographically, but intellectually. Harnessing this allows organizations a much wider ranges of ideas and experiences. Next, I learned to minimize risk aversion. In Israel, failure is celebrated. It's viewed as an opportunity to learn and to grow, not as a career catastrophe. This empowered me to make more chances as a leader, to build trust and ownership of my followers. I cannot express how much my leadership philosophy grew throughout our trip to Israel. What did you learn about how Judaism has influenced Israel's culture, governmental, technological innovations, and leadership practices? One of the interesting aspects about the American perception and depiction of how Israel is that it's a Hebrew country where the religion dictates most of the culture. I had heard before that being Hebrew was not just a religion, but an ethnicity and a culture. I didn't fully understand this until visiting Israel. Judaism is not just a religion, as many of the people in Israel are actually secular, but for them it is their heritage and their history. This is reflected in every aspect of their society. Their constitution is based on the principles of Judaism, and their political parties must support Judaism. Particularly, Zionism is an interesting crossroads between the religious, historical, and political lines of Judaism. Zionism is a driving force for conversation and policy decisions and often defines leadership styles. This translates to the greater culture of the country by defining its demographic makeup, international relations, and social divides. In what ways were you able to develop intercultural competencies during your time abroad? To develop intercultural competencies in Israel, we interacted with many different types of people. One of the most difficult and important conversations we needed to learn to have were those concerning Israel and Palestine. It was very clear that the Israel Palestine conflict is a very real and front of mind topic for the region. Depending on who we were talking to, we had to approach the subject differently as to not offend and to truly understand their perspective. This allowed us to get the bigger picture on the problem without breaching social norms. Additionally, based on what area of Israel we were in, we would adjust our dress, questions, and customs. This allowed us to embrace the diversity of the area and appreciate their values and customs. What is one takeaway you would share with others who are exploring leadership and technology in Israel? Israel is one of the best examples of how history and culture can shape leadership and technology. Much of the technology was developed out of a need to survive in a modern, developing world. We saw great innovation in their desalination plants, their irrigation systems, military defense systems, among many other impressive creations that have made Israel a leader in technology. This leading edge has given Israel its place on the world stage, leveraging its sought after technology to create relationships and to establish their economy. It was only through great leadership that this was achievable. The leaders of Israel faced many great obstacles in establishing, defending, and sustaining their country. If you choose to visit Israel, which I strongly recommend, actively listen to everyone and try to understand their perspectives and feelings. Be attentive and respectful of their opinions because you'll hear many that conflict. It's an excellent exercise in keeping an open mind and developing your worldview to consider the bigger picture. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope that this was helpful for you. Again, this was such a great experience for me, and I really cannot thank the program enough for giving me this awesome opportunity. Thank you so much. Bye bye.